So for the meditation, I want to invite us to get in touch with our bodies as much as we can, and by some gentle, like starting with some gentle movement, and then by then settling into a relatively still posture. And so if you'd like to roll out your shoulders, if that feels appropriate for your body right now. If you're lying down, it might feel good to massage them, or if you're sitting up, maybe you'll massage them just to find some love and care for this part of our bodies. And then if you want, so I see a lot of self-massaging, so let's keep that going if you want. On your neck, so if you want to gently massage your neck. And so when I say massage, we're not like trying to force the pain away, right? We can't do that. But a gentle touching, in these pandemic times, we're like, a lot of us are really touch deprived. Yeah. So this is something we can do for ourselves. And if you want to bring your hands on your head, and as if you're like shampooing your hair, sometimes like nice little taps on the head, and or on your facial muscles if that feels good for you. So on your face and your forehead, and if you want, with your palms, like gentle massaging of your temples. And maybe your jaw. And then I'm going to invite us into some eye yoga if it feels good for you. Again, find whatever other movement feels good. If it feels okay for your eyes, I'm going to invite you to make 3 circles with your eyes. So bringing your eyes up, like if you're facing an analog clock, up to the number 12, and then going to 1, 2, 3, just very gently making a circle, count clockwise, yeah. 6, 7, just very gentle. If at any time you want to close your eyes and let them rest, definitely do that. We'll do that in a moment after 3 times, if you feel like going 3 times. And after your 3rd time, I'm going to invite you to rub your hands to create heat with your hands. And if it feels okay, only do this if it feels okay. So after you generated some heat in your hands, your palms, cupping your eyes and breathing in this kind of warmth and relaxation. If you want to rub your hands more, do that. Yeah. And then I'm going to invite us to go in the opposite direction. So only if it feels good, appropriate for your eyes, to look back up to 12 and then going counterclockwise to 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. And sometimes we skip a number, and that's pretty common. And so if you want, like, to try to smooth it out, but it's not necessary. Just moving our eye muscles in these other ways that we generally don't. We're always like looking like directly forward and with an intense gaze. And So if at any time, again, if you want to close your eyes, definitely do that. And then your third time, when the eyes come back to 12, I'll invite you to rub your hands again, and then to cup them. And if you want to leave your eyes closed, you could do that or open them. And I'll invite you to heat up your hands again and bring them to your shoulders once more. And then if you want to move your hands down your arms, some feeling your arms and bringing them some healing touch from your own hands. And then I'll invite you to rub your heart, your chest. So this is a practice I like at least every other day, just like rubbing my heart. And a lot of anxiety lives in our chest, and so maybe both hands feels appropriate, feels good for you. And then pausing and just noticing, and if it feels available, breathe into your chest. And so, and then next, I'm going to invite you to. We're going to be talking about the body in the Dharma talk later, and a lot of judgment is in our belly. So if it feels okay, I'll invite you to place your hands on your belly and or rub your belly, or sometimes this part of our body is called the second brain because it has a lot of neurochemicals. And so, yeah. And then going alongside your belly and then to your lower back, if that's available, to rub your lower back. And for those of you that have practiced Qigong, and there's a kind of light pummeling of your lower back can feel good. So quite often with meditation, we think things have to be calm, and if not, we're doing it wrong. But generally, where the healing happens is something arises and that's unpleasant, and if we can bring kindness to it, that's how healing happens a lot of the time. So just noticing whatever is happening, and then just one last area of our body down to our legs. So if your hands can reach your thighs or your knees or your calves, even your feet, if your hands arms don't reach far that far down, you might just tap your feet up and down just to feel your feet on the earth. And if there's a part that feels pain, you might notice like that maybe there's another part of their body that isn't feeling pain, and just because usually when we feel pain in our body, all our attention goes to that one area. And so we're bringing awareness to the rest of our body and with kindness and yeah. And if this doesn't work for you, try to find something else that is more neutral. So sometimes the breath is good if it's too much to pay attention to our body, or you might find a point with a lower gaze just to gently focus on. Or you can have your eyes closed. And I'll invite us now into just one more movement. If you want to, and if it's available, to stretch your arms up. And actually, any stretching that feels good before we come into like a more stationary practice. So maybe it feels good to roll out your wrist or your shoulders or your head and neck or whatever movement feels good. For me, it's like a wave-like movement in my spine and to feel my feet connected to the earth. Maybe it's more self-massage. So find what feels good. You might continue to move. You might experiment maybe moving your hand very slowly or whatever allows you just to be um, with yourself just as you are. If you want to come to relative stillness, I call it, because it's relative because the body's always moving. Yeah. So maybe some movement arises that you want to practice, or you come to a more still and stationary position. And yeah, I'll invite our senses in now. Our auditory sense and an encouragement to open up to auditory, to sounds, and just in a very gentle way. You could always press mute if the sound of my voice isn't working, but there's always sounds, and we generally add names to them and want to push them away or want like more of them, and so we're just noticing gently sounds like far away or close by, and we might notice like smell and taste if that's available. Is there anything you smell or taste? And no right or wrong. These are just, they're called the sense spheres in Buddhism. These are the ways we experience the world. And then our touch sense, our tactile sense, you might notice what you're like sitting on, or you can, if you're touching something, or the feeling of your clothes on your body. And so the eyes, even if they're closed, the sight sense, you might see light. Um, then last sense in the psychology of Buddhism, the mind is one of the senses. So you might sense the mind and it's kind of agitated or has a lot of energy or calm or rough, smooth. So there's definitely no right or wrong, yeah, with the practice. It's really about trying to make sense, to connect to the senses so that we can connect to the moment as it is. And so we know the thoughts keep on going and the sounds and all the sensations, yeah, of our body. And you might find something to connect with. to bring you back, to create space for whatever is arising and passing away. And any of these senses or your breath. This practice of coming back again and again to this brand new moment, this brand new breath. So again, there's no right way to practice. Connecting to the moment. When we slow down, we start to sense kind of the extra stuff metabolizing from the day, or the way our thoughts go about planning the future as to kind of avoid maybe what's happening in this moment. But there's no right way. But I do want to invite in these last few minutes to the sense that we're together in Sangha, connecting to this field of awareness that we're co-creating. The sense of practicing together. That this very coming together is querying. It's querying this eternal now. So in these last couple minutes of the practice, I'll invite us into some loving kindness, some goodwill. Practice Mettā. This aspiration to wish ourselves well and knowing that we're connected to each other in the Sangha and to all beings. I'll invite you to wish wellness towards yourself or to have a beloved being wish you goodwill. If you have metta phrases already, I'll invite you to practice those. Otherwise, I'll invite the wish that we love ourselves just as we are. Okay. If that word doesn't work, may I care for myself as I am. May there be enough safety and protection so that I can be cared for. May our body support this practice of awareness, of kind awareness. And may we connect with peace and ease. May we connect with ease, peace. So for these last few moments, I invite you to connect to a word, one of those or any other word. And when the opposite inevitably arises, discomfort or anger, maybe a breath allows for more space for that to arise and pass away. Practicing kindness toward these judgments. And we'll end by just, if it's available, to wish each other here at the Alphabet Sangha kindness, ease, and peace. And the courage to practice loving awareness, space, safety, and protection, so that we may connect with more ease to this goodwill. That, like the sun, is always shining. So may we all be safe and protected, happy, safe in our bodies, safe enough in the world, and full of peace and ease. I'll invite the bell 3 times to end our practice. Thank you for your practice. And so just taking our time and maybe connecting to any sense of ease that may have arisen, if even for like a millisecond. Yeah.